Hello. This is the Queen, and I am here today to say goodbye to this world. But before I say goodbye to it, I just wanted to show off what I've done with it. Now, I am in creative right now, but uh, everything here was built in survival. Well, there we go. I just wanted to go ahead and give shout outs to the people's builds that I used and just let you see what I did. Now, the decorations and stuff around here were inspired by a Twitch streamer. His name is Silent Scale. I really like his style. But this build here is by Mythical Sausage. Over there, you've got the Captain Fox house, which I use this in most worlds when I'm first starting out. It's super simple, and it's really nice, and you can decorate it in different ways. The storage shed is actually mine. Over here, I have a turtle pond, and then you've got another Mythical Sausage build. It's quite beautiful. I started this world out as a small map size on the PlayStation 4 console. Now over here you have Almost Addicted, his, I don't know what you would call this, boathouse, but it's actually situated over the end portal. So I just pretty much built it up top, that way you could set your spawn here in case you die. Over here, I think this is Resile. My daughter picked this house for me to build for her, so yeah. And then she's got her chorus fruit. Over here, I have my food island, in which I put two Mythical Sausage builds, actually. I've got his storage house here, and then I've got his market stall over here. Now, I put different things on there to, suit myself here, but still. Mythical Sausage is awesome, by the way. I think this is another one. Over here of Mythical Sausage, and then you've got I saw this with Skippy6 Gaming, these slime traps, they're actually quite awesome. They work rather well. Let's see if I can get this on here. Maybe. There we go. Let's see, and then over here I've got, let's see, it was a farmhouse. This is where I first set up my farms for trading with villagers and things like that. And I think this is the Mythical Sausage farmhouse over here. And then his chicken coop as well. And that thing works awesomely, by the way. The only thing I did is I changed up the inside just a smidge. He didn't have it the way I do, but what I did is I put the hoppers into this and just made it to where I could come over here and grab eggs and spawn chickens and such. But I mean, it's whatever you do with it. Makes it better or worse. It's Minecraft. It's your world. Then over here, this is something I've actually wanted to show off for a little bit. This is the K1 Inc. Iron Farm, except I have modified it. Instead of putting all the storage that he normally put here inside his iron farm, I actually set it up to be like a really nice AFK spot. You got your enchanting over here, your cooking. This is where you would gather your iron. And then up top, instead of having them in just little boxes, I made it to where you could access them. And I actually had so many in here that I ended up... Where did all the carrots come from? Anyway, I made it to where they had to be separated because they were actually suffocating each other in the walls. There were so many. This thing works well, by the way, whether it's 1.13 or before then. Don't know about 14, but we shall see. More. I name my villagers funny things because of depending on what they have for trades. But I made it to where they could walk around, and it makes it to where they can breed and do whatever they need to do in order to multiply. And it makes it a lot better because you get more trades that way. So this is the K1 iron farm. I'm just gonna bust out of here because I don't feel like going back down. And I did have plans for over here to move all those farms and stuff closer, but then I expanded the world and realized that I didn't need that. And then last but not least, we're gonna go over here to an addicted build. Now, this build was rather difficult to do. It took me forever. I died a couple times trying to build this thing, but it was so worth it. It's, I forget what he designated it as, but I turned it into a library. And it is massive. You can see how big it is. I turned it into a library, and I even added some stuff. It's not exact to what his was, but it's pretty much there. Now, if you want to build this thing, good luck, because the video is really hard to follow. But I'll show the inside, and then we can go on to the outer edges of my medium-sized world, because I did expand. Now in here, of course, I had different places for, let's see, you know, all the different types of books, even the ones that you get for when you're fishing. Speaking of which, that's what this is back here. It's an AFK, you know, you just sit back here and fish to your heart's content. Nothing will really come after you, and if it does, then you can just duck back inside. I even have, like, extra storage over here, too. I decided to build this thing because I wanted to use the 1.13 like water features and the coral and everything, and make a gigantic aquarium that ran through the middle of this thing. And I do have to say, it turned out quite lovely. And this place is so big, I forgot where I was going. Okay, back over here. It even goes all the way up here, and it's got a conduit right there, so you can go in and swim around if you want to. And then on the very top, I put turtles. Now, just letting you know, when they're up at a certain height, at least on PlayStation 4, they seem to not want to breed, or at least they won't accept this as their designated breeding area, even if you hatch them in here. I don't know why, but that's just how it did. And then even further up top, yes, there's even more. Maybe if I can get up here. Let's go. There's even more, and I put like a ceiling up here. Now, we were supposed to be able to, at least I thought so for PS4, we were supposed to be able to get the picture frames, or no, I'm sorry, the item frames that went on the floor, but that didn't happen, so couldn't put my world map up here. Now, we're going to go back to the spawn island, and I'm going to show you some of the other builds that I did, just because I just can't let this world go without some proof that, you know, it was here. We're going to go through the nether because it is the absolute quickest way that I know of. I'm sorry, that was loud. Okay, over here we've got a quarry, a tree farm, and a wool farm. We're going to go to the quarry first. And just let you see what I did there. I see, I actually have this part decorated. Didn't really do that for my other stuff. But you come in here, but I had like storage for all this stuff for the quarry. And down here I even had like a receiving area for, yeah, you can even hear it. Tick, 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 tick. I know it's going to be annoying for a second. It's a water elevator right here and a receiving area, and I'll show you the rest of that when I get to the other part. Actually, yeah, well, we'll go this way. So, when I first built this area in the mountain wasn't here. So I had to build a bridge to get to this part so I could be, like, safe. Now, this bridge, unfortunately, I don't remember where I found it, but if you look up Diagonal Bridge, you will see one like that, and I guarantee you'll recognize it. Now, I covered it in leaves and stuff, but this is not mine. None of this is mine. Well, most of it. I actually think that's mine. But this is where I was quarrying out everything, and I didn't get very far in, you know, what I was doing, but thus proving that you will find treasure no matter, you know, what you're doing, even if you don't have a map. I was digging around, and right around here, I actually found a buried treasure. Then right here is actually a area where if you're mining and you end up filling up your inventory, you can drop your stuff here and it goes into a hopper system that leads it down to this. Now this design, I found it and I don't remember whose it is, but it's a minecart delivery system and it works very well. Now for the next one, let's see, that's going to be the tree farm, and we can actually fly straight to it from here instead of going back into the nether. I built it on an island. Now this island is fully terraformed and I built a gigantic tree in the middle. Kind of suits it. I have every tree I ever needed over here and a kelp farm as well. Let's see. Oh, here it is. I know the tree's not the best, but it was my labor of love, so to speak. These little houses, I believe, are from Almost Addicted as well, and they work rather well for little stations. You know, while you're cutting your trees down or whatever, you can hide in there if you can't get back to the big house. And then straight this way, I had a wool farm that was, let's see, it was inspired by a build by Andy is Yoda, and it was quite an undertaking, but I didn't build the whole thing, or at least not what he was giving as a tutorial. It's meant to look like a Spanish mission, and what I did is I just extended each part like this around it instead of building up the house portion that would have been on the back, and put my different colors of sheep in here. And let's see, there's a storage area back here and a really big nether portal because it fit perfectly there actually. And this just goes to prove that, you know, you can do whatever you want with people's builds. You don't have to build them exactly how, you know, you see them on YouTube. Now, the very last build that I'm going to show off is the turtle farm. And that will conclude my tour of my world before it goes